Executive dysfunction. What is it? And why does ADHD make it feel almost impossible to start a task, even when you genuinely want to? If you've ever sat down to do something important, only to end up making coffee, checking your phone, opening 17 browser tabs, standing in front of the fridge, or suddenly deciding to reorganize a drawer, this video is for you. It isn't that you don't care. The problem is that your brain can't find the starting line. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this happens, why it has nothing to do with laziness, and how to use a simple ADHD-friendly framework called RISE to get moving without relying on motivation, panic, or shame. The goal is not to force your brain harder, it is to build systems that fit your brain. Have you ever spent an entire day thinking about one task? Replying to a message, booking an appointment, doing the laundry, or paying a bill? You think about it all day, feel guilty, and want it done desperately, but you still don't do it. Instead, you do 20 easier things, and when the day ends, you wonder what is wrong with you. The biggest lie ADHD tells you is that you need more motivation. You don't. You need activation. Executive dysfunction is the difficulty your brain has turning intentions into actions. It's the system that helps you start, plan, prioritize, switch tasks, and follow through. With ADHD, that bridge can feel like it's under construction. Imagine opening your laptop and clicking a program. Nothing happens, so you click again and again. Suddenly, everything opens at once. The computer wasn't lazy. It was buffering. That is executive dysfunction. Your brain isn't broken. It is buffering. While buffering, it seeks something quicker or more rewarding, which is why you research laundry baskets instead of folding clothes, or read about ancient Rome instead of replying to messages. ADHD brains are brilliant at finding interesting detours, just not always the ones you need. This happens largely because of dopamine. Think of dopamine like the ignition key in a car. For many brains, the key turns and the engine starts. With ADHD, you turn the key and nothing happens. Not because the engine is broken, but because the ignition doesn't fire reliably. Your brain constantly asks if a task is worth activating for. If it is interesting, urgent, or exciting, your brain says, "Let's go." If it is laundry, admin, or emails, it says, "Maybe later." Wanting to do a task and being able to activate yourself to begin are completely different skills. ADHD affects activation, not how much you care. Sometimes caring too much makes a task feel so heavy that your brain avoids it to escape the overwhelm. If you've been calling yourself lazy, pause. You've been blaming yourself for a brain process that needs support, not shame. Traditional advice says to just do it or be more disciplined, but adding guilt to an unactivated brain is like running heavy apps on a phone with 1% battery. Instead of asking how to force yourself, ask what is stopping your brain from starting. Usually, it's one of 4 things. The task is too vague, it feels too big, it carries emotional weight, or your physical and mental state is depleted. Once you know the obstacle, you only have to reduce it. That is where the RISE method comes in, a 4-step reset for ADHD task initiation. R stands for recognize and regulate. Before pushing harder, stop for 10 seconds and ask what is happening in your brain. If you are tired, hungry, or overwhelmed, do a tiny reset. Drink water, take 3 slow breaths, stretch, or do a quick brain dump. You are just trying to become functional enough to begin. I stands for identify and implement. Identify the one thing that matters right now. Instead of trying to fix your whole life, ask what would make today feel like progress, like sending one email. Then implement one support, like a 10-minute timer or putting your phone in another room. Support is a system, not cheating. S stands for simplify and structure. Remove friction. Don't tell your brain to do the laundry. Tell it to pick up 5 items. Make the next step obvious by putting the basket by the door. Fewer decisions mean less friction, and your first goal is simply to make starting easy. E stands for execute and elevate. Execute for a short 10-minute sprint. Start small so your brain doesn't argue. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. Afterward, elevate the system by asking what helped and what you can make easier next time. This teaches your brain how to start again. Let's apply rise to that pile of laundry you've walked past 6 times. Normally, shame tells you to just do it. Instead, try rise. First, recognize and regulate. Acknowledge you are tired, drink some water, and take 3 breaths to shift your state. Next, identify and implement. The goal is just to put 1 load in the machine, and your support is a 10-minute timer. Then, simplify and structure. The first step is picking up 5 items, putting them in the basket, and carrying it to the machine. You never had to activate for the entire mountain, only the next visible step. Finally, execute and elevate. Run the timer and start. Whether you stop after 1 load or keep going, you made progress. Take 20 seconds to review what helped, so you have data for next time. This works for studying, work, exercise, and admin. The problem is not the task, it is finding a way into it. Build systems, not shame. Shame has never helped anyone start, but the right system does. If you've spent years calling yourself lazy, remember that executive dysfunction is not about intelligence, effort, or caring. Your brain doesn't need criticism. It needs clearer steps, lower friction, and better support. Every time you make a task smaller, you teach your brain that you can start. For your next step, pick 1 task you've been avoiding and try rise. You don't have to finish everything, you just have to begin. What is the 1 task you struggle to start? Leave it in the comments. And if this helped, subscribe to Brighter Brains. We are here to help you build systems for your brain, reduce shame, and create practical strategies that work. Build systems, not shame. I'll see you in the next video.